President Trump is absolutely crushing Biden on Ukraine. If the latest polls are right, it looks like voters have finally woken up about the disaster that is the Bumblin Biden regime. We're going to take a look at the latest round of polling. We're going to see what President Trump has to say about it all. And stick me to the very end of this video when I'll show you precisely how Putin would never have gone into Ukraine under President Trump's watch. You are not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Stevie with you. Great to be with you as always. I am your daily fake news antidote. So come on in to your Patriot Professor's den here where I help you to think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Before we begin, just a reminder, if you did miss getting tickets to our sold-out rhino hunting boot camp this Saturday, March 5th, you could still support the fight to get rid of Republicans in name only like Romney and Cheney through my Change America initiative. Click on that link below to help fight rhinos and support patriots running for office just by living out your life. Change America is an awesome program that rounds up your purchases to the nearest dollar and then uses that change to support patriots throughout the country. And as a special thank you, if you sign up with our Change America program today, you're going to be able to get free access to my weekly exclusive Monday night live streams, which you're going to absolutely love. You're going to love the one tonight for sure. So make sure to click on that link below right now and support patriots while defeating rhinos all across the country. Click on the link or visit change.turleytalks.com. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. The Hill has just published the results of a Harvard-Harris survey that is utterly devastating for Biden. And I do mean devastating. According to the poll, 62% of American voters believe that Russian President Vladimir Putin would never have invaded Ukraine had President Trump still been in office. 62%, which of course raises the question, how many of those 62% voted for Biden? We know at the very least that 38% of them were Democrats, people who believe that Putin would never have done this with Trump as office. So, you know, who then is really to blame for all this? I mean, that's what Mike Cernovich wants to know. Shortly after Russian tanks crossed the border into Ukraine, he tweeted out, "You have to own this. All 81 million of you. You destroyed military careers over the vaccine. Do you realize how trifling you look right now? How pathetic and weak? Tonight is how human history really looks, you coddled, weak little brats." As for President Trump, he minced no words. He was speaking at CPAC in Orlando over the weekend. And here's what he had to say about not just Biden, but the whole permanent political class. Take a look.
Under Bush, Russia invaded Georgia. Under Obama, Russia took Crimea. Under Biden, Russia invaded Ukraine. I stand as the only president of the 21st century on whose watch Russia did not invade another country. Thank you.
That's why he's the GOAT, man. That's why he is the greatest of all time. I mean, no one can argue with what he just said. As for Biden, his poll numbers are literally crumbling. According to an ABC News poll, again, you heard that right, ABC News, right, about as liberal as an organization as you can get. The most recent ABC News poll found that Biden has fallen to just 37% approval. And this is after ABC did everything they possibly can to weight the poll in favor of the Democrats. And the same poll found that the congressional Republicans have just opened up a near 20-point lead over the Democrats on the generic ballot. 19 points to be exact. It's absolutely unprecedented. Another Harvard-Harris poll found that Biden is at 38% approval. He has clearly fallen into the 30s and he cannot get up. He cannot get out of this malaise. And that, of course, is because Biden is a malaise. Now, of course, the mainstream media is doing absolutely everything they possibly can to try to humiliate Trump on Putin. Even Mittens Romney, the king of rhinos, Even Mittens is doing everything he possibly can to blame Ukraine on Trump. I kid you not. Mittens is actively out there trying to desperately blame the Russian-Ukrainian war on President Trump. Well, as you could have predicted, given the absurdity of such a claim, it's not working, and these polls that are coming out are reflecting the exact opposite. American voters recognize that Biden looks weak, and Putin is exploiting that weakness. Biden looks pathetically weak and frail, and that's, of course, because he is pathetically weak and frail. And dare I say it, the world is taking notice and acting accordingly in terms of what they think is their own best interest in an increasingly fading D.C. establishment. But those same voters, even 40% of Democrats, recognize that the same is fundamentally not true with Trump, or would not have been true, and for good reason. Victor Davis Hanson has a great piece that's out entitled Why Putin Has Not Been Deterred. And it's an excellent analysis contrasting Trump's policies with Bumblin Biden's policies and why those policies resulted in such different outcomes with regard to Russia and Russia's actions. You know, that reminds me, did you sense a comeback with President Trump over the weekend with that speech in Orlando? It sure looks like Trump is more ready than ever to come on back, right? You make sure that you get your I'll Be Back t-shirts plus a host of other awesome merch just by clicking on the link below to check out our merch store. We got some awesome Freedom Convoy shirts and much, much more. So make sure to click on that link below or go to store.turleytalks.com. That's store.turleytalks.com for all your Patriot gear. And you'll also be supporting this channel as well. And we can't thank you enough for that. All right, so when Trump was in power, his energy policy, which centered on a mass increase in pumping oil and gas domestically, it had the effect of crashing Russian oil prices. And the key to that is that without the leverage of energy supply, Putin had little political leverage to do whatever he wanted geopolitically. So I don't think we really appreciate just how much energy independence was central to Trump's vision of stabilizing the geopolitical order. Energy independence kept both Russia and the Middle East on their heels and effectively cut them off from acting on any grievances that they had with their neighbors. And then you add to that Trump's 4-year war with China. I mean, for 4 years, Trump hammered Russia's #1 trade ally. You look at how he treated North Korea, where he told Kim Jong-un that my nuclear button is bigger than yours. You add to that Trump's ordering the assassination of the Iranian General Soleimani, his crushing of ISIS. There was no way that Putin was going to do anything like what we're seeing today under Trump's watch. Trump had full command of the geopolitical order in a way that Bumblin Biden has completely let falter. Now, with our energy independence squandered in the name of left-wing environmentalism, Russia's been able to go back to dictating oil prices. All of us are going to feel that dictation very, very soon. Germany, with the canceling of Nord Stream 2, they're going to be seeing their energy costs skyrocket. Again, all in the name, ultimately, of woke environmentalism. NATO is largely fractured. Biden looks incredibly weak and woke. Speaking of, Putin looks at the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Milley, and he sees he's more concerned about white privilege than he is about the Afghanistan troop withdrawal. That botched troop withdrawal back in August didn't just make America weaker on the world stage. It certainly did that, but it also had the effect of putting Russian and most particularly Vladimir Putin at the center of the world stage. Britain in particular turned to Russia for what they were calling Russia's moderating influence over the Taliban. Emmanuel Macron of France did the same thing. Germany did the same thing. Much of the world moved towards Moscow after the fall of Kabul. All of this feeds into Putin's sense that he has the West right where he wants them, and that is what has ultimately emboldened him to move as he has on Ukraine. So, needless to say, elections certainly have consequences. And those consequences are not just felt here at home. Not only is Bumblin Biden collapsing here, but is contributing to the nothing less than the collapse of the geopolitical order all over. Voters are now recognizing that, And voters, in a matter of mere months, will have the chance of beginning to correct the ridiculous and absurd mistake that is this administration. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded on how the sanctions levied against Russia are actually having the effect of awakening nothing less than a new political order. You're not going to want to miss this, so make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.